Hello, I'm Toycat and welcome back to the third channel walk and talk video, except this one has a twist. I'm going to be riding a scooter instead. We're going to quick start the bird and it requires my driver's license right now for some reason. That very real driving license that I definitely have. So we're just going to not do that correctly. And we're going to see if that gets approved. Hello, I'm Toycat and welcome back to the third channel walk and talk video, except today I have a scooter which asked me for a driving license and then I didn't give it one and then it let me ride anyway, which maybe is legal liability. But we're going for a scooter ride again, but this time in LA, or Santa Monica to be precise. I know some people get really hung up about, you know, which particular city you're in America. I can't say I have the same hang-ups as all of you, but today I wanted to talk about something I know it's been on my mind a lot because it's so much easier to criticize something than it is to be in favor of something. I mean, you know, like there are lots of things in the world that people hate. I mean, don't you hate paying rent? Don't you hate the fact that we'll only live for a certain number of years and then we'll die? Don't you hate so many things about the current world? Don't you hate that scooters just don't go fast enough uphill unless you give them a real boost of your own? Wow, that sure does suck. Oh God, I'm terrified right now. That sure does suck, doesn't it? And you know, like, the truth is that there are just some universal hatreds that we use instead of actually, you know, kind of improve things. And one of the examples that always springs to my mind as someone who, I guess, technically speaking, you could call me an entrepreneur or something, right? A small business owner, is I'm at a stage where it would be nice, certain tasks would be nice to kind of farm off. One of the things I like most about doing YouTube, look, there's a stop sign, so I'm gonna stop. Are you proud of me, Internet? I am following traffic laws, but one of the things I always liked about YouTube is that it was all by myself, and I wasn't reliant on people. Whenever I did do like group recording sessions or whatever else, they always ran into some form of problem. They always gave me some, you know, like, I don't know, I just never had fun. I was always feeling like I was locked in there. And so doing YouTube by myself, not being reliant on people, is one of my favorite things about the job. However, over the last couple of years in particular, I've been trying to learn that, like, there are some things that people can not only do better than me, you know, there are some things I don't like doing, but there are people that not only like doing, but they can do them better than me. Oh God, what is happening with this junction? Am I just going right across it? Oh God, it's scary, there's cars over there on the right. Okay, I'm gonna just go down here, apparently, towards the beach. Such an LA scene we're looking at. Oh God, we're going 19 miles an hour. Okay, it's fine. Scooters are made to go this fast. And I am made, okay, there goes my bike lane, I guess. Oh no, it's over here now. So one of the things that's been happening in the last few years is I've started to kind of come to the realization that, you know, there are some things people can do that I don't like doing, and editing's the main one of that. I have free editors now that do some amount of work for me. You know, none of them are like employed, I would say, in a traditional sense. You know, like there are sometimes things that I like them to do, and then I pay them for their time. However, one of the things on the internet that is a very popular belief, honestly, let's be honest, it's on social media because that's where people are mad most of the time. There are two bike lanes. Which one's real? Let me point you down so you can see the road for a bit. But like there's a bike lane here that's being covered in these bricks. What am I meant to believe? You know. Anyway, one of the things that's really popular on the internet, mostly because people work hard jobs. They work very hard at a job that they feel like, you know, they're not getting everything they want out of, and therefore a easy selling pitch, an easy criticism of the world or of capitalism or of their current employer is that they're stealing from you. When you know, any form of employment is theft, is a genuine, oh God, am I meant to do this? I don't know if I meant to do this. The idea that any form of employment is a form of theft is a really common position, not just amongst random Twitter users who, you know, are otherwise not too notable, but there is even a Mojang Studios employee. There is even a, you know, a member of the game, you know, like he helps make the game in part, who like is criticizing his current employer and saying that, yeah, basically, you know, like even they are stealing from him. You know, like he basically posts his salary. It's like deep in the double digits of thousands, like close to the six digits. And he's like, but it's, you know, I feel like they're only doing it because they're making more money out of me. He feels like he's being robbed in that way. And it's not an uncommon feeling to be underappreciated in the world, and especially amongst employers, right? Like, I feel like a lot of employers don't do a good job of making sure that their employees feel valued and cared for, etc. That's why now more than ever we see people switching. But as someone who, I guess, technically owns a one-person business that am maybe looking to expand it, I wanted to give some thoughts about, the maybe, oh God, the maybe, expanding off my business to more people. I've been thinking a lot about hiring some employees that could make, not only the videos better, the job better, maybe even better paying, like if the videos get better enough and we can do certain things, it could make more money and then they could do that, but also just to make my life easier or whatever. So I've had a lot of thoughts about, oh, there is a giant truck behind me, I'm terrified. Oh, okay, it's fine, it's fine. Oh, okay, it's not fine. Things are not fine right now. Like as someone who is like looking to maybe, like I'm trying to work out basically, what sense does employment make? At what point does it make sense to me to pay someone to do certain things, and how do I make that worthwhile both for me and for them? And so one of the things I've been thinking about in relation to that quite a bit is I've been thinking about like, what is the fair amount to pay someone? Anyone who works for me right now, they offered the amount that they think would be fair, and then I increase that a couple times a year or so, and that's kind of that's my big system that I use, like what you asked for and then some more. But there's actually like 5 or 6 different ways you could argue an employee's value. Like, if that's, that's the traditional model. Like, if you are happy with the value, I'm happy with the value, that's okay. But some people might argue, well, if you're paying someone, $20 an hour, but you're making $25 an hour, aren't you basically stealing that $5 an hour extra? Like, you're taking you're stealing their labor, the fruits of their labor, and turning it into $5. And ignoring the fact that in the traditional business, you're thinking of that, like, oh yeah, there's probably some expensive capital investment that went along with that. Ignoring that, there's also, there's just different models to look at it. There's like, okay, so what if instead of the amount that they earn, instead of an amount that's happy both for you, what if you try and work out instead, like, okay, how much will you make the business? Should you pay them some percentage of that? Like, okay, what if you, because if you say someone $20 an hour, regardless, as long as I can keep you employed at that price, I will. What if instead it's like, oh yeah, we'll work out how much you're worth for the company. Ignoring that that'd be impossible for like a barrister at Starbucks. Like, how much is a barrister worth? Is a barrister worth the amount that they, do you equate what it'd be like to have a Starbucks without barristers versus Starbucks with barristers? Because you could argue that the company wouldn't run that way, but like, is it therefore that every barrister at Starbucks makes the company its billions of profits? Maybe. But okay, like, so then the alternative argument to that is maybe we could pay them a percentage of what they generate the company. We can calculate that somehow. I mean, ignoring that it wouldn't be easy to calculate. Also, this is a fun ride. Ignoring that it wouldn't be easy to calculate in the slightest. McDonald's is drawing my attention, but I must focus on the road. Instead, it's like, okay, what if we pay them, like ignoring that like what they're happy with isn't good enough. What if instead it's like, what if we pay them a percent of what they generate? But the problem with that model, if you pay them, even if it's 100% of what they generate, it's like, oh yeah, so if you pay them that amount, then that will fluctuate, My channel, my income has varied by literally a few 100% in both directions. There were a few months a year ago where I was pretty darn sure that YouTube wouldn't, like, and 2 years ago I was fairly sure, oh man, that's good, it makes me nervous. Until a couple of years ago I was pretty darn sure that YouTube wasn't gonna continue anymore. Like the trend was going down in such a way that I wouldn't have been able to continue doing it for myself, let alone any employees. Is it right that an employee takes a pay cut during a time of harshness if you don't need to, if you have the reserves for them not to? It feels like maybe the answer is no, right? It feels like maybe that's a little bit mean, to say the least. And oh man, I always try to stay in, I'm going to focus on driving right now, but I'm going to focus on this point. So the third model is like, okay, what if instead of paying them anything to do with what they're worth personally, you say that if you choose to employ them, like this Starbucks barrister that is essential, like someone like a maid that you feel like you need because you never want to do something. What if instead you look at it and you say, oh yeah, I will pay them a percentage of my overall profits, regardless of what portion they are personally responsible for. And the answer to that is like, because there are some companies that do really good. Okay, I don't know what happened there. There are some companies that do some really good profit sharing models, but almost all of those companies are super hard to work at because by becoming an employee, you effectively are becoming a business holder. You know, something that should cost hundreds of thousands or millions, they give for free to people. And let's be honest, there is a much longer line. Oh. There is a much longer line. Man, that if I wasn't paying attention, I would be dead. There's a much longer line of people who would like to, you know, like get lots of something for nothing. Then there is a line of people who would like to get lots of nothing for something, which would be, you know, therefore the dead-end job. And yeah, the answer to all of that, it's kind of rhetorical. The amount you pay someone, it's hard to work out. But I'm always terrified that someone's going to be like, oh, just because you're happy with what you're paying them, just because they're happy with what they're paying, and you're both having a good time, and you know, this is happy for you, doesn't mean that it's not exploitation. And you know, like, the truth is we as a society do see that at some point, you know, even if they're happy, that's not the key determinant. Okay, someone wants to go to the right here, I think. I am scared, I'm worried. Should I just go across? I don't know what to think at this point, honestly. Okay, you know, LA's fun. That little curve earlier, that was like a really fun one just on a scooter. Honestly, I like curves. The problem with riding a scooter on the street is the straightforward things. Anyway, so my point is that, like, okay, if you assume that it's okay that like an employee can pay an amount and that employee can be happy with that amount, there's the real struggle that is, oh, then working out, okay. The real struggle then is working out, like exactly why do we need a minimum wage then? If like, you know, if so, when I was, you know, like 13, I worked for, you know, like, it would have been significantly below minimum wage, but I was happy doing it, and people got a service. Let's be honest, it was a 13-year-old writing them articles. It wasn't a great service, but it improved my skills, and it gave them more. And the answer is like, oh yeah, it's kind of awkward that there is a gap. There is a lot of inconsistencies that overlap in society. And the answer is that we don't really know where to take them. And that's where the whole, like, is your employer stealing from you thing comes from. Because, like, maybe under some definition, that is true. Maybe, I mean, like, there is actually a widespread thing, like an actual, you know, actual wage theft. Like, an employer not paying you for time that you are working for them is a real, genuine thing. And, you know, that is a serious problem. But are you being stolen from if you accept a wage lower than what they are taking, you know, what they are potentially making from you? And the answer is like, you could argue so, but you're definitely ignoring a lot of the minutia for that. Oh my God, that guy does not care about stop signs. Okay, am I going? Am I going? I'm not sure if I'm going. I'm gonna go after that guy, apparently. Okay, let's go. I'm terrified, I'm terrified, I'm terrified. Man, stop signs in America, like, they're meant to go in order, but sometimes people give scooters priority, and sometimes people don't care. People don't recognize scooters as a vehicle. Which, I mean, like, let's be honest, it's a fair opinion to have. But anyway, staying on track, maybe here at least. It's really hard to work out, like, what is a fair rate to pay someone. You know, my model is always just like, oh yeah, I'll pay them a certain amount at first and then try to increase it as we go. But the truth about even that is like, you know, like, let's say that let's pick $15 now, because that's the big buzz right now about a living wage or whatever. The truth is, anyone who, like, you know, there's lots of working out what job I can give to someone, because I actually want to have, like, some employees of some form. I feel like that's one of the things I want to do as an air quotes business owner. But am I recording? I should check if I am. Oh, okay, I'm recording, I'm pretty sure. Here's my scooter, it's going well. Okay, let's go again. This is a nice road, by the way. This is my happy place. There's no cars trying to kill me. There's just a nice little street by the ocean. Ocean's literally on the left, by the way. It's nice in my opinion. Okay, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna continue going forwards. And I've got to turn left eventually, so I guess I'm gonna work it out now. But yeah, so the question is, something I've been considering is like, yeah, I'd like to have some form of employee. I'm lucky that I've got some amount of revenue spare that I can, you know, hopefully put towards a person. You know, after paying, you know, for all the things, I'm like, okay, I'd like to make this better. I'd like to hopefully hire someone to make this whole business work better, because I think I'm reaching the limits of what I can do as one person. Or not even as one person. I think one person can do a lot more than I can do, but I'm reaching the limits of what I can fundamentally do, and to some extent what I fundamentally want to do. So, you know, therefore it's like, okay, if I need to expand this, I need people. But the truth is, if I want to, like, finding good people is really hard. There's a quote I've heard a lot, and it's like, I don't know if you're looking in the right places. But it's kind of true. You need someone to be, like, let me think about, something I've thought about a lot is like, even if I want to hire someone, right? Even if I want to, you know, like, even if someone offered to work for free, let's say, and work out what I could pay them for. The truth is it's really hard to find someone who's good enough at a task. Like, you know, if I train someone to be, like, to work out things, because every single task that I do is highly specialized. And you might not think that, you might think it's all playing Minecraft. But in terms of, like, actually what makes the success is working out what topics are most important. The things that make the most success are working out, you know, like how to most make a catchy, an appealing, catchy thumbnail. Oh God. The things that make YouTube, you know, like there's a lot of business side to even running a one-person YouTube channel that luckily I'm good at, because you know, the reason I think I'm good at it is because I worked for pretend clickbait news sites as my job before YouTube, you know, when I was 13 through to like 17, because they were the people paying, they were the people with the excess money that could hire people to learn the craft, and I happened to be good at the job because I quickly picked up what was important about the job and what wasn't. Because every job, there's an official title of what you're doing, but underneath every job, the really important thing that you actually need to do is work out how to make that task economically viable. You know, there were lots of people. I remember I was like employed alongside like 5 or 10 other writers. Most of them weren't from the UK, by the way. Like, all of them were from like for the most part, they were from like you know, like either they were very young people from the UK or like Australia or whatever, or in most cases, they were people from like, you know, like Asia or something like that, you know, like in India or, you know, an English-speaking country that isn't England. I don't know what I'm doing here, by the way, but apparently I'm going past the stop sign. Oh, it's outside a hospital. That's why there's a stop sign there. Actually, should I go down the beach? I mean, I'm doing the opposite of going down the beach right now. Can I U-turn here? I don't know. Man, this is a nice bike lane. If this is a bike lane, I am happy with that outcome. Anyway, oh Christ. Anyway, so yeah, I guess I'm gonna U-turn and go down the beach, unless there is no beach. I don't know how any of this works, truthfully. Oh, I have gone myself on a path I do not want to be going down. Ah, that's fine, you know. Sometimes the adventure comes from an accident. Oh, these pine cones are terrifying. Do you see them? I don't know if you can see them. But they're like big enough that they might derail the entire scooter because the wheels in this thing are tiny. I've been thinking a lot about the idea that like I would like to hire someone, but there's always an undertone to every job. Like if I was part of 10 people, and maybe like 2 or 3 of them were still doing the job by the, you know, like even like a month in, because most of the people could do the task, but they couldn't do the task in the way that was important. The undertone to the task was this content had to be easily searchable and show up on Google News or whatever else. Like, you know, it had to get page views. We were being paid per word, but our employer, you know, like his name was Kapil, just in case you. Actually, was it? Yeah, it was someone else actually. But my employer, I don't know if employer is the right word. Like a guy who bought my articles from me. That guy himself, he was, you know, like getting paid based on how many page views, because obviously he was getting paid based on the AdSense. And so for the vast majority of articles, if he pays the amount that is fair for someone to do it, he will lose money unless that person is good enough to know what the actual task is at hand. And it's interesting because we have this all over in society. Like, there are metrics that actually determine how good you are at your job, but that's not what you get paid for. You are paid, oh Christ, that is the worst one. That pinecone got destroyed though. Yeah, this is not only not the right direction, but it's an actively dangerous road for me to be scooting down. But you better believe that's not going to stop me. You better believe. Look how nice this neighborhood is. There's people with dogs, there's maids, there's giant houses. Like, to own a tiny house in this area of LA, Santa Monica, is already like 1.7 million. I can't imagine the price it is for a big one. But yeah, every job has this kind of like undertone task of what you're actually doing. And that's I think the struggle. Maybe that's like a lack of education. Maybe that's maybe it's something we don't want to believe. Maybe, you know, like the artist dilemma of like, even though art is the thing we value the most and we'd love to pay someone to do it, the the reason a company hires you to design their logo is because they think that that logo will bring them incremental business, which maybe the best looking logo would not do. Even though, I get a lot of thumbnail companies getting in touch with me, and they make really nice thumbnails. But the truth is unless they make thumbnails which are, unless they can make thumbnails which are like appealing enough to get more clicks, again, bring incremental revenue, more revenue than I would get not using their thumbnails, even though they're better thumbnails than my terrible ones I make using GIMP, because they don't understand focal points, they don't understand like the clear particular thing that you've got to emphasize. It means that I would lose money, even though they're offering dumb rates like $1 a thumbnail. Even at $1 a thumbnail, I would lose more money than I would make, ignoring the fact that I then lose the $1 that I'm paying them, which is hilariously underpriced. But then I see the other end of it. I see people charging $10 thumbnail, which are also beautiful, but also miss the fundamental point of like, how do I, what makes a thing get clicks in the case of my very specific weird business. And yeah, the reason I bring all of this up, man, it is scary, huh? Yeah, I really don't know where I'm going at all, but isn't that nice? I feel like I'm so far inland, even though I'm like 4 blocks from the beach now. It's wacky how fast LA changes. Yeah, the real thing you're doing is you're trying to add to a business's bottom line such that you become indispensable. The reason, like, one of the things that hurts most is like, if you look at the Starbucks example, the company, let's say one Starbucks branch brings in like $2 million a year. I think that's vastly overselling it. Let's say like $500,000 in profit. So, $2 million a year in sales, $500,000, that's profit. And even though if you look at that company and you say, oh, without barristers, the company physically cannot function, whereas without business people, the day-to-day functions go on. So surely, why are the barristers not being paid more than the business guy, the branch manager or whatever? And the answer is because the idea is you're meant to bring an incremental revenue to that business. You're meant to convince more people to go to that business. Something that is very hard to do when you are effectively working as a machine, I guess. Whereas, again, like the reason, an interesting thing is, I don't like this either. I think CEOs are, very, very much overpaid compared to the salaries. Like the CEO to worker salary multiple has only been going up for the last 50 years. And now CEOs are paid more than hundreds of times their average salary of the company, let alone the lowest paid person at the company. And it seems real messed up. And on a large level, it kind of just is. But the reason, even like it seems messed up, but that there is a actual market for CEOs, people who can actually run a company. Because at a certain point, you're not like what a CEO even does isn't even a fixed definition. There's no school you can go to that will teach you to chief executive office manage. A CEO just manages the entire business, hopefully in such a way that it makes some good money, They have to do, they are where the entire accountability stops. If a business loses money, the CEO's on the hook, even if it's, kind of dumb stuff, unrelated stuff. At least that's the point. I mean, during Corona, you can see, getting that point going. During Corona, you can kind of see that not playing out correctly. But, there is an active market for CEOs. Having a bad CEO can lose a company hundreds of millions of dollars, even though they're only paying them a few million. And having a good CEO can make a company billions, or depends on the size, obviously, but like a large company. And that's why there's a market. People want the best CEOs. That's why people will look at a CEO making $1.5 million a year, but they're doing successfully and be like, we could pay them $2.5 million to come to our company, plus $1 million in stock options, plus this, that. And then they'll make it, they could hopefully do that. Even if you ignore that high up example, because that could be entirely untrue. I mean, I haven't been a CEO or worked on the board of a large company. So my opinion, I'm just conjecturing. I'm believing the world probably does make some sense, right? Jesus, where am I? I really should look at a map sometime soon. It's a long way down, and my battery is running out. It's been a while since I've seen like a store or anything too. Maybe I should just go off to the side and check. Actually, wait, it says there's a bike lane on this road. You see that? It says bike lane. So this is not a bike lane. This is such a typical American suburban neighborhood though, right? Like, if you picture suburbia, you picture this. Even with like the little hit on in the road. I don't know, this like perfectly yells, I'm in suburbia. So where I am, in case you are curious, is here. I don't know where I want to be. I want to go to there's a historic park over there. That sounds fun. How do I get there? I can cross this golf club, except I can't. So instead I'm just gonna go all the way around it, go past this Brentwood Country Mart and Holy Cow Barbecue. And, oh god, that's gonna be a nightmare. But we're doing it because it's easier than turning around, apparently. Okay, so, yeah, a thing that is perhaps not thought about? I guess it's just thought, not thoughten. A thing that is not considered is that, like, to really teach someone so in such a way that they create money is actually kind of hard. You know, maybe this is again, I really don't know. Is it a failure of the school system, or is it a myth that we have as a society that, like, everyone can do things that they enjoy? You know, we break tasks down to the bare minimum. Even though I am a YouTuber, I make videos, there are some, you know, like, there are lots of people doing exactly what I do, making 10 times more or 1,000 times less. Even though when I was a writer, you know, have you seen the standard of journalism these days? You know, I was part of that, admittedly, when I was a bad writer making clickbait. But, you know, there are people doing the exact same thing that I'm doing, getting paid huge salaries, living in New York or LA, perhaps, to write articles about why you can't enjoy the PS5 launch because, you know, like, you know, have you not seen the crisis in America? I mean, while wage inequality is going up, how can anyone enjoy games? That was a real article by a site that writes articles about reviews games. People go there to get their escapism, you know, from the world, and then they say, hey, you shouldn't be enjoying escapism right now. You should be thinking about the world. You know, that one article, ignoring, again, let's if you don't know what I'm talking about, there was an article, genuinely, this is a real thing, about you know, why you can't really enjoy the PS5 so much because of the fact that, you know, the world is on fire. And the world really is on fire right now. Let's not pretend that things aren't in a place that they haven't been in for a very long time. We're facing a crisis that it's hard to imagine, and that, like, in 20 years, it's going to be weird to explain now to anyone. Like, it's not going to be believable. When people used to tell me about the 80s and, like, the shrinkflation and whatever else was happening, I was like, yeah, sure, Granddad. I'm sure that inflation really was 12% a year, and that they had to turn off electricity 3 days a week or something. Yeah, there was literally I think it was called the 3-day working week at one point. That was one of the plans the government had to fix the crisis. Terrible fix, by the way, but yeah, I think I want to go towards that mountain. I think a mountain would be nice right about now. What do you reckon? Internet, chat? You know, I wish I could do this live. I've tried before, I just don't get a strong enough 4G signal. I guess I could get a Wi-Fi box thing. You know, like, there is a way to do it. I just haven't made it work personally. And that's something I'd love to have an employee be good at doing. But, you know, perhaps tie this all together. But no, I really think that to have someone be good enough at doing a real task, you know, like working out what it is that makes their task worthwhile, takes a really long time. And, you know, particularly when you're working in, like, let's call it not the services sector, like the information sector, the skills required to do a okay job, you know, one where you are not actively doing like I said, the guy making the $1 or even the $10 thumbnails, they did a great job at what they thought they were doing. But I can tell you that no big YouTubers were using their thumbnails. You know, no successful people doing so, because it wasn't, oh, the light went white. It's embarrassing that I missed that, huh? But I can tell you there were no big channels that I could spot using their thumbnails, because even though they were great at their job, you know, and even though they were charging a really reasonable price, they weren't actively doing a good job. They were making really nice pictures of art, but that's not what a thumbnail needs to be, you know? When it comes to editing a YouTube video, you can make a masterpiece. You might have seen, I have someone who actually, like, So he stopped working with me for now. I had a guy called Aaron who made the stream highlights videos. When you look at like the things that he did, they were much higher concept than, like, you know, when I edit a video, I literally just put audio, video together, call it a day. He was making these high concept, he was making these crazy high concept videos that were really well edited, using his like, because he was doing an actual editing degree in college or whatever, not degree, an editing course at his local college, I guess. But even though he was doing this like proper editing course, and he was really good at what he did, and they were really high concept videos that like were objectively so many times better. But if you look at the videos that have the most views, the ones editing for YouTube is different to making a good movie. Working out what your actual job is one of the hardest tasks anyone can do. And it's the same thing where I paid him, I think, Jesus Christ, that tree really hurt. Oh, man, that is my first like serious scooter injury. My shoulder hurts so bad, but I am making the video go on. But yeah, the whole point of this video is it's easy to criticize, it's easy to say something is wrong. But what's much harder is to propose an ultimate solution. It's really easy to expect the world to be a certain way. Like, I would love a world... Actually, you know what? Here's the thing, right? There are streaming deals out there. A lot of companies have offered this. Oh man, look at this one. I'm about to go downhill in a pretty intense way. Okay, oh God, I can't even see where this hill goes. Oh, oh my God! Ooh, 27 miles an hour on a rented bird. Okay, 30 miles an hour. Ah, that is a blast. That is a blast. Oh, I am having a good time. Oh, oh, okay. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Oh, and there's a car behind me. Because even me going 30 in a scooter, feeling like my life is being torn from me, is just not as fast as a car, which is breaking the speed limit. I broke the speed limit just now. Yeah, that's cool. It's always nice to be able to break the speed limit. That's the dream as a vehicle on an American road. It's the dream is to break the speed limit. That's what America. That's the American way. I wanna run stop signs. I wanna turn right on red, and I wanna go 10 to 15 miles above the speed limit, and argue that because everyone does it, that's how the speed limit works. That is all I want from my American experience. Yeah, I'm causing a lot of cars to turn over into the other lane, which is nice of them to avoid me that way. This is the nice thing about rich areas. People don't try to kill you. Usually, probably. Actually, I just assume this area is rich. Oh, actually, there's a school there, I think. Okay, no, focus. Forwards. I need to not die. That's gotta be priority number one. Everything else can come second. Oh no, my scooter is dead. It's on 1 bar battery. Okay. I'm gonna be stranded in a random neighborhood in a really rich area, and I don't know how I'm gonna explain that. So, you know, Uber drivers aren't allowed to ask questions. It's 2020. It's fine. Anyway, the thing is like, it's really hard to work out what exactly you are doing. And I mean that in a lot of ways. Like, oh, please don't turn red. Please don't turn red. Oh no, it didn't turn red. It didn't turn red. You saw it. You saw it, right? You saw it. It didn't turn red. That didn't happen. Oh God, this is not a road for me. Oh God, this is the worst road for my scooter to die in. Please let me back in a residential area. Oh no. I don't know what I've done, but this is a big mistake. I'm terrified for my life now. Okay, I've messed up so bad. I messed up so bad. See, this is why you don't run red lights. Okay, I have messed up, seriously. And I don't even know where this goes. Okay, I need to check a map. Okay, there's no one behind me. We're fine. Okay, I'm gonna look at a map. I'm gonna see where I am. And I'm gonna go up this hill with no cars behind me. And I'm not gonna feel like I'm dying. Okay, oh yeah, this battery is not happy with me right now. Oh, and I'm going up a hill down what is clearly a major road. And I guess not by American standards, but yeah, I need to U-turn. Oh, but cars are coming behind me now. Cars are coming behind me again. I don't want to deal with this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, do you see how close they're getting? Okay, I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna go back into that neighborhood. Because even if this is where I want to be, not like this, you know, not like this. Okay. Don't know if that was an illegal U-turn, but that's fine. Oh, that I don't like this, like, you know, you're gonna have space. Oh, okay, we're fine. Everything's okay right now. Everything's okay. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna turn right. Again, it is red, but allow me to exert my American freedom to turn right even when it is red, because such is the American way. I guess we're gonna turn right here too. Again, I wanna get up to that mountain without having to take a major arterial road. Okay. Oh, this is nice. See, again, suburbia in America. It seems like a TV show, but yeah, I'm really here. Okay, so, internet friends. What I wanted to say of this whole rant is, I want to hire someone, but I have no idea how to. I have no idea how to, like, fit into their life. Like, I had this, I always intended, like, I'm trying not to use explicit details, people who work for me, because I don't want to, yeah, that's their private stuff. They can talk about it if they want to. I'm not going to talk about their details and their behest. But it's really, really, really hard to work out what something really is. There's a lot of things that something seems like it is. Like there's the story we tell ourselves as society, but the reality is always slightly different to that story. Oh my God. I'm guessing this is the country club, or it's a gated community. Either way, it's not for me. But there are stories we tell ourselves about what society is, how society works, and whatnot. But the actual reality of what life is, the actual reality of how life works, in all the different ways that you might think of, it really varies. It really differs from that narrative a lot sometimes. Okay, I'm going to take a left here. I'm convinced there's a lot of dead ends coming up. That one dead end is, see, that says not a through street, which means that that's the dead end to that street. It is, but there's someone walking down the path. You know, life is confusing. This is quaint. This is nice, right? Oh wait, I think these are called mansions, right? Like excessively large houses that like are trying to be mansions, but they're right next to other mansions because everyone around here wants to have a large house that looks like a mansion. Look how quaint they all are, and they're all so different to each other. Also, look how many people have basketball courts. Like, that's interesting. Anyway, so to round up this video with a sane tagline, because I'm not getting to my destination, I've kind of concluded that. To round up the video, I want to hire someone, but how do you work out how much to pay someone? How do you work out how to train someone? And you know, like, how do you deal with the fact that you're going to be losing money and losing time, which can directly convert into money while you do so? And I don't know, I guess the only lesson you can take from this, if you don't intend to work for me, because you know 99.999% of human beings will never become an employee of IBX Toycat LLC. Fun fact. I mean, that's until we take over the universe. But okay, I'm gonna get back on this road. No, I'm not. There's a giant Jeep coming. I'm just gonna ride on the sidewalk, nice and slow. Just gonna take it easy. Slow ride. Do, take it easy. Oh, I am taking it easy. I'm going on a slow ride, and no one can stop me. Man, it is so weird, the wealth, like the top 0.1% that lived in that neighborhood I was just in, right? Like, it's crazy that it's just there, that anyone can just go to it. Like, you can just drive up to, you know, people like to, actually, you know what, can we talk about rich people? No, let's not talk about rich people. But it's fascinating that they just, like, exist. You know, I see another basketball court. Oh, okay, yeah, I need to kill this road, it seems. Yeah, it's interesting. We always like have this vision. I saw recently, to be in the top 50%, you only need to make a salary above, I think it's £26,000 in the UK. That's about $33,000 if I do the conversion on top of my head. And you know, $33,000. See, you know, like people, there are lots of people who earn 40, 50, 60K a year being like, yeah, I haven't really made it yet. You know, I'm still kind of struggling. And to be in the top 5% of birds in the UK, you need to earn only 76,000. 76,800 if I think I got the number right. Oh, I want to go down this hill again. Honestly, should we do one more joyride before I leave the scooter for the day? Should we do one more ride down this hill? I think we owe it to ourselves to do so, right? Oh, even that bike man that actually lives here isn't dumb enough to go down this. Oh, okay, we have to get on there. Okay, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Yeah, let's finish with one more little joyride down a hill. I want to see what 30 miles, because the thing about these videos, okay, wait, I'm going to finish my thought from before. But like, work out what you're actually doing, make yourself indispensable, and then if you ask for a pay rise, the company would be dumb to say no, right? If a company makes 30 grand from you and you make 20 grand, and then you ask them for 25 grand, what company is going to turn you down? Being non-easily replaceable and doing a job in a way, you know, like, the truth is getting people to be good at like actual business talents is hard. I don't know where the flaw is. I don't know if the flaw is maybe just me thinking about the world in such cynical terms, and that maybe what real good people do. Oh, Christ. Actually, wait, this might be a fun road too. There's a big green something here. I don't know what this road is, but I guess I'm gonna go down it. It's called La Mesa Drive. So as I go down La Mesa Drive, allow me to finish off with my final thought that is actually video related. And that is, these videos make the scooter look really slow. It's interesting because I am going only 17 miles an hour right now, 18 miles an hour right now. But it feels much faster. And I wonder how fast this will actually look in the finished product. So I'm gonna go, oh man, it's all the way downhill. I wanna see what the scooter journey looks like. Because I'm not pointing you down, I'm pointing you straight ahead. And then I'm gonna compare this. So we're going 17.5 according to my speedometer. And I'm gonna point you down a little bit. Okay, I almost died there, that's fine. Point you down just a little bit. Because I wanna find the perfect angle to do these videos from. I think straight ahead is the most logical, but I think maybe a little bit of a point down allows me to like do stuff like this. Actually, wait, let me show you this. Is this good? Is this better? I have to arch my back very awkwardly, but it might be good. But yeah, it's fascinating that like when you look at the salaries, you realize that like, oh yeah, we always like to talk about some fictitious story, some fictitious tale of the 0.1%, of the 1%, of the whatever things, but they're a lot closer to us than we realize. And the thing I learned from that is that we have this problem with fictions and stories, which are great. Fictions and stories are what make the world, what make humanity. But even, oh man, I'm so loud, I feel bad. I'm in a quaint little neighborhood, just destroying it with this bird scooter. Watching my battery slowly go down into smithereens. But you know, oh my god, that is an actual mention. That is no mucky mention yarn on here. But yeah, we try to tell fictions because fictions make our reality easier. The fiction that the 0.1% of people live in magical mansions somewhere, and that I couldn't just scoot over to them accidentally, is a fiction that makes it easier to paint them as these fictional cartoon villains that you know, are really hateable people. You know, they're pretty likable people if you got to know one. I imagine, at least. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people always say like, oh, you're just a bootlicker. You're defending people that you're not even a part of. What a monster. It's like, I have an opinion. I think all people are pretty darn equal, and the ways that we're not equal, we should equalize opportunity for as many people as we can. And like applying that to applying that to your worldview is easy. The fiction version of that's really easy. How do you apply that to real life is really hard. Even at like yeah, how do I ensure that the best person who needs the opportunity the most gets it? And the answer is you can't really be sure. Most people who are employed in the world are working a job that is not perfect for them. And how do we fix that? The truth is there's a lot of friction that stops people from moving things around. I think there's a lot of tricky ideas, and I don't want to move into like, I think there are some political solutions, but the fact that there's no easy ones you can come up with on the surface, the fact that once you start asking hard questions, you know you're in the right place. If you have an easy question of like, oh, why don't my employer's just stealing money? It's like, how is it that every employer on the planet gets away with stealing money from you? And if it's so easy, why does no one just start their own business where you can be both the employer and the employee? You know, asking, when you have hard questions, you've actually got to start to struggle with the answers. When you have easy questions of easy answers, maybe you're asking the wrong questions. Or maybe I'm the idiot for overcomplicating things. Maybe I'm just a useful idiot in the grand scheme of things. The people whose houses I drove past are loving that I'm confusing the masses by talking about how employees actually are kind of hard to train, and you know, how most people probably aren't productive fully at the right jobs they're in right now. Maybe that's what that is too. All I know is that I enjoy going on scooter rides. I hope you did too, because I'll see you all in the next one, assuming I'm still recording actually. It's a pretty big if now that I think about it. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, because I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye. Hey, I was still recording. Look how far I've gotten in America. You can see the wide angle lens, like, I can't see my zip from here. I was gonna say something else, but thank you for watching. Look, I'm going past a Tesla house. That's nice. I like Teslas. Do you know what else? Wait, actually, I've got a lot of questions about this neighborhood. I've got a lot of questions in general, but you know what I don't have questions about? You liking this video. I don't make these videos for any particular gain. It's kind of a therapy session where I get it off my chest, and thank you for listening to that and enjoying the journey. Oh, there's a weird frame rate issue where you can't, okay, whatever, so many issues, so many things. But you know what's not an issue? Me going and leaving you. Goodbye.